a host of them. It sounds like something you want to pay attention to, and a lot of people felt maybe give benefit of doubt for those who have a timeline. But do you think calling off the strike is a little too soon? Do we have a government that keeps to his words? This is a new administration, though.
If you want me to answer that straight on, I'll tell you, we are yet to get one that keeps to his word. But that Labour did what it did by at least going to that meeting with me and hear him out and give him that respect and call off the strike. It's on hold. It's not called off. Which is very, very good that we can now know how do we move from here. And Mr. President did tell them that the Port Harcourt refinery will come on stream in December. Don't forget, 4 hours after before Labour had that test, Mr. President addressed the nation and reeled out so many things the nation had in stock they want to do to alleviate the place Nigerians are facing, the energy crisis we are facing. Yeah. But he never mentioned that the Port Refinery will come on in December.
Yeah, in December.
One begins to wonder, why did that happen? Now it took Labour going there for them to that from him.
No, but it's been talks before now that the Port Harcourt was going to come up.
Because we've committed so much resources to the reactivation, what they call turnaround maintenance of these refineries. The one in Port Harcourt, the one in Warri, one in Kaduna. Well and good. But it has given us a timeline. This turnaround will come to conclusion. And that is the problem we have. When you floated the Naira, and the Naira is not doing well against dollar, and our crude is taking the country, it is refined out of the country and into the country. The byproducts we lost. Nobody talks about that. They come back, they tell you that it has to do with the international marketing system. Whatever the dollar gives there, that is we are going to. It's not supposed to be so. So when we talk about the turnaround, who undertook the turnaround? What was the timeline? How did he get about it? Implement that. What are the problems the person or persons encountered? Is it that Nigerians are not being carried along? But I believe, I'm of the opinion that if we refine our here, God-given crude here, take this home. There is the only member of OPEC that does a functioning refinery. And it's a big shame. So if in 2020 we do not have a functioning refinery, something is wrong. And this is what some have gone to some other fora to canvass. Mr. President, yes, you've come in, problems. But the thing is that there are certain things you need to address first. Take up, go to Port Harcourt, go to Warri, to Kaduna. Have a first-hand information. I know you have AIDS. Have-hand information of what is happening in these refineries, and now you can now be well abreast of what is going on. You can now take decisions. This is how we're going to go about it. We don't move forward and come back, move forward, which is exactly where we are. No, and it's not even better by the fact that I'm of opinion that before the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria takes the oath of office, all tribunals, all things, all the law should be done and dealt with, so that when the person comes in, okay, I have no insurance, these are my ministers, and we get going. These are the things. If you have, for now, Mr. President is overburdened. Too many things. So much going on at once. Two things are going on, demanding his vision, and he cannot split himself into pieces.
Talking about
these are the problems.
About it is the ECOWAS chairman with the seat in Niger Republic, which demands attention also. I can see how it's thin already.
Can we go to that one? And Mr. President doesn't have a foreign affairs minister. So the body who is handling the portfolio. So you have some aides who are not versed in diplomacy. They can't add him properly. They don't have the right to take off to say, okay, sir, do this way. This is how it is.
But you have the Minister of the Civil Servants. You have all of the PAM sector.
But somebody officially designated to do this. Sir, we can do this. We can use some other options. Now, there's no difference between Nigeria and Niger. The fellows in the 5 fringe states of Nigeria, all of them have affinity with Niger Republic. Their relations, social cultural similarities. Now, if you're a student of history, that the Sokoto Emirate before now stretched far into Niger Republic, that the Sultan of Sokoto can talk to emirs somewhere in the Republic and have their ears. Remember, our immediate past president said that, look, if you people diss me here, I'll go to
it would have been one coolest person to send as emissary.
Absolutely.
With the military junta at the moment.
We are talking about home. So that if these things are out very well, as we speak, I know that there are over 300,000 IDPs in Niger Republic. And if anything happens in Niger, between Nigeria and Libya is public. We are not chummy Niger Republic are the issues. So we just have on our thinking cap to make sure that whatever happens in Niger, we handle it automatically. This idea of ECOWAS, this is that, Benin, how many boots are they going to run? How much are they going to bring? And
but the significant military strength is going to come from
absolutely say this. This Nigeria of 1980s and 1990s had so much money to throw away. Can't even self-sustain ourselves. We can't afford the bogus idea of going to start a war there because it's going to have international dimensions. Now, group, they are interested in this with the backing of the have massive republic. That is the attraction.
But if our president is chairman and the world is to the ECOWAS region to do something about it, America is speaking with us. I mean, Kamala Harris said we spoke with our president, you know, the U.S. government talking with our government as to you guys are the dogs, the big kahuna.
If the war begins to, it's not going to be in Washington. It's going to be here.
What are we giant of Africa for?
In Nigeria. If it was 1980s and 1990s, we can go there and run them and install whoever we want to. Now we have to apply all diplomatic finesse to make sure that Nigeria is safe because we have so much internal problem to handle.
And couple the fact that our border
let me tell you this. In 2001, when Olusegun Obasanjo was of this country, there was a queue in Southern Principe. Okay. Their president was here in attending a meeting about Nigeria and warned those fellows there that I am coming with the person I recognize as president-elect of
Principe.
Satome and Principe. And he left here with Nigerian military jets and went there and reinstated the man. Can we still do that now? Do we have what it is? So these are the issues. I'm talking to you now. There is unrest in Senegal. So it is spreading and we just have to be sure. All we need to do now is to ensure that we make sure that there is peace. Don't forget, Boko Haram is still ravaging better part of Nigeria, both northeast and northwest. In north central, it is the same problem. Southeast, there is a problem. South, there is problem.
Are we attributing the north to Boko Haram, bandits and rest? Yes, but maybe not profile them per se as Boko their religious ideology.
Whichever name you call, what I'm saying is that there is unrest there, that we have internal problems that is against our peace, and that is part of the problems of the president as given by Section 42, subsection of the 1999 Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria.
All right, yes, we have to touch base with the situation in Niger. I mean, Nigerians are talking about it constantly, even though the military has said instruction for boots on ground, just but the tempo is heightened as to what the militants is. ECOWAS is recognizing Bazoum, the military saying that ship has sailed and they're getting support from Mali and Burkina Faso. So it's like it's them against France at this point in time, and we need to understand where we come in as a region, as a country that shares very porous borders with them at this point. Now, taking a step back to the story we talked here, Labour has issued their salts for a bit, and so the strike for now, giving the government a benefit of the doubt for a few days, and how things come together, how it crystallizes. But sir, when you were talking, you were emphasizing on the refinery. I know that the president mentioned the Port Harcourt refinery, even though we're hoping for the refinery into full function. I think it was the first quarter and into the second quarter. Now we've moved towards the end of the year. We're not talking Dangote refinery because it's obvious. Dangote refinery to be pushed towards the end of the year or sometime next year. 2025. Apparently, Dangote refinery is not ready. It was just a hasty commitment that was done by the previous administration. It's something that someone might have putting, and I don't know how was processed all of the narrative coming, because we've from NNPC saying that even if we had minorities, it's not going to significantly cut down the price of petrol. We're utilizing it. Marketers are saying low refining would save at least 70 naira per litre of petrol price when it's functional. And, at one point, will you reduce it to 70 naira or just remove 70 naira from 610 or God knows how high it will for the refineries come into full function. And so we're getting the impression, even if we have our refineries working and we're refining it's not going to significantly change the price of petrol because of haulage, internal transportation, and that.
I agree with you, haulage, because the administration did not complete its rail project. A rail project was completed from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, the one from Lagos to Ibadan, going to and linking Maiduguri and all those. That would be a lot easier than moving this out by road. Our roads are in a deplorable state. That notwithstanding, if the refineries are working, the one Port Harcourt works, in Warri works, and the one in Kaduna works, it is piped these places, like especially the one which will take care of the northern you don't need that much. You know, the people, the Ipman people or whatever they call themselves, they're all business people to make some profit. It's expected. But the thing is that the system operators have to come in. We shouldn't allow all these market forces to determine the price. The thing is that every country, it's energy problem, and the country has to subsidize to make sure that the people once this is found here, we are beginning to forget something. There is this what do they call it now? There is this chain, byproducts, all those things,
the value chain of what
down the line that somehow things are benefit from it. And
all right, let's go on a quick. Okay. We'll take it off from the benefit after this break. Still, please.
Tesco quality cornflakes are so full of goodness because they are whole.
Nothing the news like the news. I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1. Now, FMD. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics today. The way is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. You have all the reasons to find out what's going on here and then get friendly. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you big stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Niger Info Hard Facts. I love to get your opinion on conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me, let's talk.
My name is Elder Emma Okoro. I'm interested in rebuilding my nation, and so I have to join the beginning of cleaning of the environment. The key environment here is totally filthy and unhealthy for our people. So when Mayor Fortune decided that Abuja should come out, I decided to join because it's for the good of our people, our children, our wives, and I finished. That's why I'm part of this group, so that I'm part of those who have started the journey to rebuild Nigeria.
Nigeria Info Abuja. Okay, Sunday, I see you. Ojonu Echie, we see you also. Clem, very much for always being a part of the show. Samuel AK is also joining via Facebook, and quite a number of comments on our WhatsApp portal also show part of the conversation. Why is voice lacking? Joe in Maraba talking about the refineries. The marketers are not in support of our refineries working. That finding a crude here would not reduce the price of oil. A blatant lie. Later refineries, what Joe is saying. So now, to you, sir, we're talking about the value chain and orders that will come from a fully functional refinery, because it's very important that an oil-producing nation does not refine. And we've not been refining for years.
How many members
it's just mass of intense.
Members do you have in OPEC? It's the only OPEC member that does not have a function refinery, and it's a big shame. And since I'm telling you that it will not bring back down the, what about the chain? We refine our products here. It creates employment for thousands of Nigerians, whether it is Akot, whether it is in Kaduna, whether it's in Warri, where it is, and it goes round. It will bring down the price of petroleum products. Because when they refine it outside and they bring it in, most of even sure the vessels that are in this, they come in with papers that we brought in this number of this.
One thing we agree of, we are short check. Even customs is saying, are you sure you are bringing volume?
Nobody checks it, and they just sign it off and pay the money, and off they go. It can't continue. This is what the president should set a team and personally say that, look, I must get to the root of this, and they should be bold enough to fight corruption. Mention these persons, prosecute, and if they are found wanting the law, let them face the music.
I thought you wanted to say he should personally be in charge of that sector, like the many. I almost got scared. I must scared because the last president was in that case. Was one of the least performing minister of petroleum.
He performed. Let's not pepper the cracks. On that perform. Sure, he didn't perform.
As a minister of petroleum,
he wasted that portfolio. So one cannot, in good conscience, ask the president to add that to the things he's screen. He should assign it another competent person, but keep on it, because this is where it gets what keeps it going. The way we are going to show that we are a serious country. When you look last address, he told you that the elite are benefiting from this. Well and good. That you are the commander in chief, the buck stops at your table. A month in office, you must have read file. You know who are this. Can we put a stop to it? Prosecuted.
Who are these elites?
Are they untouchable?
Exactly.
Are they
I mean, if you're looking from PDP to AP, they recognize the fact that
it's the same story. Nobody wants to mention any name. It's okay. Let's continue this way. We'll get it. This is where we are as a nation. As we speak, God knows Nigeria as corruption headquarters. You know what the general of FIFA did 3 days after Nigeria played a goalless draw with Northern? She left this. She left the state box. Came to our dressing room. That's our guest. I said, "Girls, you've done her proud. I'm one of you." But it's a message from FIFA. What is happening in your FA, that is NFF, that you people get shortchanged. Most times you don't get what belongs to you. FIFA has this paying protocol because of the corruption in Nigeria. We will pay you directly.
Wow.
Is that not a dent? This is where Nigeria is. We can't continue this way. Nigeria is a slippery slope.
All right. Oh, well, no doubt about the FIFA stuff, but good for them, at least they get paid directly, which is a good
one. Now getting to second round, them, even if they lose, I don't think they have to lose against England, but if they lose, they're going to go home with $60,000 each.
A good one. Congratulations.
46 million naira.
Making us proud. We're proud of them.
Very proud.
Yes. Let's move on to the next story. So, we're spending $1.5 billion on the Port Harcourt Refinery that we're keeping our fingers crossed by, hopefully before Christmas.
How much has they committed to turn maintenance? Google it now.
11.35 trillion.
11.35 trillion.
Yeah.
Who got that money? What was it committed to? Who are the persons? How did they do this job? Is it the system working when nobody gets punished? Nobody gets punished here.
Well, that part
11 trillion. Gone drain? No, it can only happen here.
All right, still has a challenge around there, but let's see how we wriggle out of the mess when it comes to sector that is as opaque as the world of. All right, let's move on to the story. And the Ministerial List, Nigeria, been waiting from the president had his broadcast and said today is gone, waiting for another big end, which is who are the people he's going to with? The team of fully technocrats, sprinkles of politicians, some hope to get things moving. And we saw batch 1 and batch 2. We have all of the names sent, and the screening has started. And we'll wrap up with the second batch that sent there. A lot of people are curious about the quality of the individual. And the second list comes with more former governors. President Tinubu sent the list of the second batch of ministers nominated to the Senate for screening. A request sent to the president asking for the approval of 19 more to join his cabinet. And recall that he forwarded 28 nominees to the Red Chamber for screening confirmation. With the 19, we have 47. I haven't tweeted in a while. I just didn't know where I tweeted, like, come on, isn't this a little much? I mean, if we're looking at how to cut the cost of it, can they justify it at a point in time? So we're going to have 7 ministerial nominees. Will all of them, will the Senate drop 1 or 2 of them? We'll tell all of that. It's going to be one of the largest Senate in Nigeria's democratic history. Now, we're seeing a number of former governors make the court. So, and it's also an interesting one to look at from yesterday of Rivers State to David Mayo State to Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State. We have Mohammed Badr of Jigawa State. We have Bello Metawali of Zamfara State. Simon Lalong of Plateau and Oyetola of Ogun State. Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State. And Atiku Bagudu of KB State are all on that list to become minister. And it's also something to actually interrogate. I know there's a place for rewards, the loyalty to party, the commitment to winning an election and all of that. But you think maybe shy away from politics a little. Or maybe it's my personal opinion, just flooding the space at the moment. Because some people say,
let's cut a long story
that
short.
the Ministerial List is okay, that we have some technocrats in it, and we have impressive number of women in it also.
A very long story short. Go and read the speech of Mr. President to Nigerians since he took the oath of office. There's something that runs through. Be patient with me. We'll get it right. Tighten your belt. It's difficult. It's like birth pang when it comes. Both the mother and everybody is happy.
Forget the pain, yeah.
We forget the pain. You don't tell people when it is with your actions and inactions that people are not at the center of what you are doing. All of us have been here. Since 1999, they're the largest ministerial posts we've seen, 47. The closest to it was 42. I used 42 use 42. So what pushed it to? And what is the quality of persons who are on this list? You are rewarding pretty. Governors that failed in their states are being rewarded their appointment.
Well, not all will agree with
One had thought that President Tinubu would have stopped the Orosanya reports that tried marrying ministries, MDAs, and all those things just to make sure that
his
recommendation that governance is,
streamlined.
Streamlined. And that would have brought our ministerial nominations to maybe maximum of 30 to make sure to meet the constitutional requirement, state gets one.
Are we looking at the possibility of more ministry with these individuals?
Absolutely.
Are we going to see ministers of state
That is
more?
what, if you bring more ministers of state, you still have to create ministries to accommodate them. Can the economy support? When you appoint a minister, just the vehicles that are going to use, the numbers, by the time you tabulate it, how much it will be, what is going to exert economy, you begin to wonder, are we doing the right thing? And the issues that one had thought that, can we get things working? Fortunately, I had thought that Ahmed Lawan was the Senate president Nigeria ever had. The way Ababio is going, he will beat that record in record time.
Is it soon?
That is why I'm saying
a quarter in.
That is why I am saying so. Watch the ministerial screening. He never allowed anybody to interrogate them. And why do you bring them there? You don't want this ministerial screening. Bring the list, return it to Mr. President. Okay, with them.
But we're going to feel
also them to ask those questions. It doesn't matter the party divide. Because what we ask is that we want the right persons to be in this so that they can help Mr. President. Okay? Things are bad in this country. Even the National Security Advisor admit that, this administration inherited bad portfolio, which is from EC2. Okay? That's not with it. But the thing is that, can we do it?
But Mr. Chuks, what honestly would the President have done differently, given the fact that we've apparently a template in terms of them? Portfolios are not attached, this individual have been screened, and given the past 3 ESS, what more can you really do?
There are regular questions you can ask. There are normal questions you ask that the Senate President should allow you to ask, because Nigerians want to know. I have passed in other places than here that, look, part of the problem is that appoint people and things, and you don't attach portfolios to them. If a portfolio is attached, Kim Nwachukwu is saying she's going to be the Minister of Information. I will know, this is her bag. These are the problems with the Minister of Information. And I now ask her, how will you address so and so? But when you begin to second guess, maybe President will take Jegede to Fagbemi to judiciary, or other man to information. These are conjectures. We just have changed this system so that we know that we are sending names of nominees to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria attached at the portfolio which Mr. President we wish to work them, so that I know that she's going to work ministry. These are the problems, these are the problems, so and so. And how will you deal with this? If you don't meet requirements, the Senate can now comment that, look, so and so persons you recommend, can you reconsider bring that person? But go there. And it's so that when they come, little questions are asked. And
but Senate President himself was literally picked by the party. You think he's going to be antagonistic towards people who are in the same together and
should
feel
not start now. Like it's on a slippery slope, and every hand must be on them to pull Nigeria back from sliding. I say it with all sense of responsibility, from him as the Senate President to who is the Speaker to whoever is anywhere. Nigeria is on a slippery slope. As I speak to you, call somebody in Zone 4, how much is change rate? Naira to dollar. Naira sterling. That will give you an inkling to what low our economy has doing the issues. So you will need the best. So if these fellows, these not that couldn't make it in their states, are being compared with ministerial positions, let's see how it's gonna play out.
That's another story to look at your opinion on, given the fact that the Ministerial List, we're seeing quite a number of former governors. How will they perform as executive governors of their, and what new can they bring to people, given the ministries where they're operating? There are a lot of people who share sentiments saying, what do they do? They are more political figures, and you have, civil servant, the PAMSEC, who actually do the works. They're the ones who really roll their sleeves up, and good or bad, the ones in the center of it. But it would be nice to have people, even if you call them political figurehead, they are the rep of the ministry, good or bad. It reflects on them, on the person who appointed them also. you want to be sure that you have the pedigree, the records, and commit to delivering at the end of the day. So it's something to interrogate. As much as the National Assembly, Nigerians are also screening this in those to saying, is this shelving technocrat for patience and compensating the boy? Or, is it a greater good for God and country at the time of what political interest? We'll give them the benefit of that. They scale through the Senate screening.
They've all scaled through.
The Senate president said it go does not mean that they have gone.
He do otherwise. They have all scaled through. The list will be returned to Mr. President. He will assign portfolios. And
what if we are surprised? They don't all scale through.
I stick out. There'll be no surprises.
Okay.
Not with that Senate.
All right, then, surprises at all. And this apparently did not come as a surprise for a lot of people, as the National Executive Committee of the All Progressive Congress on Thursday elected former Kano's Governor Abdullahi Ganduje the national chairman of the party. The NEC also elected former Senate Ajibola Bashir from Osun State as National Secretary. The two officials were elected today at the 12th NEC meeting of the party held at the Hall of the Transcorp Hilton in and addressing party leaders after his emergence. Ganduje thanked the president and promised that internal democracy will prevail in the party during his tenure. Kano governor pledged to ensure a scientific register of party members, ultimate attention to election management, conflict resolution. And according to him, there will be a level playing field for all party members during party primaries. And he promised to hit the ground to ensure victory for the party, forthcoming governorship elections across the country. President Bola Ahmed, Vice President Shetima, the APC Governors Forum, chieftains of the National Assembly, among others, were present at the NEC meeting. And the president said the APC has won the election and it's now time to deliver the promises of good governance to the Nigerian people. So, it's been a back and forth with Ganduje and all, but he's emerged. I guess the whole dollar and all of that was taking a back seat. No one look at that.
I do not
anymore.
I hold a contrary opinion because perception is almost everything. Anywhere his name is mentioned, we cast their minds back and to associate him with that are not quite noble. That's it. That does not stop the party from taking its decision, which it has taken.
Well, no court has convicted him.
Or say that no court has convicted him, which will be the end of it. That look, these are just allegations. I agree with them because
they all have allegations. A good number of them.
Almost all of them have allegations across party lines. You see, we can't expect to have this Adisa Akinloye, who was the national chairman in the Second Republic, who weathered so much cloud that when they have their meeting, President Shagari will come down and the national chairman will come. Now, in the Fourth Republic, the president is the leader of the party, and he chooses who he works with. He wouldn't work with Adamu Abdullahi. Adamu Abdullahi opposed Maj as the flag bearer of the party. Therefore, has to be shoved aside. Now, his own man is here. But that creates its problems, okay? In Kano, remember, Kwakwanso is there. If you look at the list, Kwakwanso didn't make that list. It ought to have met, meaning that...
Which of the list are we talking about?
The Ministerial...
Kwakwanso?
Yes. So, meaning that he has been shoved aside. So, he'll be bearing his own grudge. But he will go back and I saw the governor of Kano. This is our own base. We'll take off from. That's another matter for another day.
No, I'm still trying to understand why Kwankwaso should be on the list.
Why wouldn't he? If we can, why wouldn't Kwankwaso?
But how did Kwankwaso work party in Kano State?
Well, these are behind the scenes, so we better not. It was believed that he compensated. He didn't get it. Therefore, we leave it at that. But I don't think he will be a happy man that he was not deemed fit for appointment. So that grudge, they will be slugging it out back there. But the major thing facing Ganduje, the new NWC of AP is the off-cycle election. Imo, Bayelsa. These are test rounds. So he has to show that I'm in control of the party. We can deliver this state. Don't forget, PDP is in control. Bayelsa, APC in Kogi and E. So if he doesn't get the three, he should be able to deliver the two. It's an exit test. So that will show how important, how he owns the party and how he carries the party along. But the thing is that there has been this misgiving within the NWC of AP. I mean, they had problems with the Adamu leadership, and very them Lukman resigned. Even the legal advisor resigned today. These are the issues. So he must have to find a way to patch all cracks so that he'll carry everybody. But this thing comes in. Just as I started, I said that is everything. If he's able to show, look, don't mind the media has said about me, this is a different me, and I'm coming on a slate. Let us help Mr. President, this party, this is our time, and let us take this party to the next ground. We should be able to do that. I hope he will be able to. But the challenges are real, and these off-cycle elections are the best exit test. If he's able to deliver by November 11th or thereabout, elections will hold, the party will take it seriously. But if he fails to deliver 2 of the 3, or he loses the 3, begin to look beyond the issue that's again to see how can somebody who understands the party and who carry the party along. He's been there from 2014 when APC came on board. He's been there, so he understands the workings. To believe that he understands the workings of the party, and he should be able to decide to know where the party can get it right and where the party can't get it right.
Well, we wish him the best in bringing about that internal democracy talked about in the APC, which is one struggling with. And it's not just the APC, to the PDP, we see to a lot of political parties in Nigeria. And, well, let's see also if he can retain the 2 states one more and all other obstacles there is before the big next one. Mr. Godwin from Area 11, good afternoon. God bless our guest. He can articulate our Nigerian position on Nigeria. I will protest if Nigeria is involved by using military finance to legitimate government, because you can't afford what you have, or you can't offer what you have. And national debt is about 77 trillion. We're still struggling to overcome for the past 10 years and other insecurities. Do not throw away the baby with the bathwater. So the government cannot deal with the subsidy than removing the entire subsidy, thereby subjecting us to the suffering. One that till this day, the state has not made any policy statement regarding corruption. Anyway, when dry bones are made, man becomes uneasy. A man whose house is on fire does not go about chasing rats. Niger Republic should be allowed to solve their own problems. Leo. I am calling for the closure of oil exploration in Niger Delta. How can Nigerian government export oil and only return PMS, kerosene, etc.? What happened to the byproduct? Michael Okwudeli is asking. Charity Femi says your guest story about FIFA directly is not okay. So the FIFA is actually going to pay every player from participating countries direct. The FIFA subscribe Never Nigerian Football Federation as the reason we don't need to paint that picture. But they're going to pay them directly. Corruption. It says it was the locker room conversation with them.
It's okay. So far they pay
directly. Chiva from Apo says, we are drifting to Venezuela, a country that produces oil yet has into oil in abject poverty. Observation showing that we are moving towards that direction. The ministerial appointment are used to compare political champions, he wrote. And I greet our guest, Mr. Chuks. Time I pity Analyst. How I wish our guest is giving ministerial post for the tests where you know what it takes to lead a country like a Nigeria. It's easy to criticize. When it comes to reality, one will understand not easy. On the ministerial list that your guest talked about, I advise him to wait and see who becomes the president of Nigeria. Olajide from 6. I don't understand. Hamzi is saying, good afternoon, your guest is really hitting me with facts. Where are the technocrats promised you as ministers? Ministerially looking like, okay, I don't know if I call them field, but governors, chose Mariam Sheikh over Ganduje. So Gauna, recycling. Can't use this adjective to describe them now. That would be not nice. The corruption and anyhowness by broadcast for the world to see. It has been going on too long. FIFA had to break protocol, systematic method of doing things to ensure that Falcons were paid their money directly and not through the NFF. Embarrassing. Ham0. Looking at Mr. President nominee, I believe he's already planning the upcoming rerun presidential election. Beatrice from Kubwa. Kwankwaso is too big at the ministerial slot. Remember that for a subsidy probe consumed brilliant career for popular in time, and he thinks what so it's supposed to be a fish for his job. This was Twitter pen on deck in the sea and conjure. I am pulling on out the pocket. I share that was good equity for my Okay. Hello. What? Hola. Oh.
just say technocrats. There are many of these politicians. They have gone to school. They are technocrats because they became even politicians. And they represent, like I said, different tendencies. If you check those 47, you are going to see about half of them that are called technocrats. So, I mean, the whatever due diligence that was done before the president arrived at them, I give him is above average. It can't be perfect. If you give every talking today piece of paper and pen, or you go and write the ministers you want, people will still talk. Over 2 million Nigerians know how to govern Nigeria from their backyard. It's not as simple as that.
All right.
In the last 2 months, the man has the little best he could do. You can see how open he has been. If this is what we had during strike, there is no way ASU strike for 8 months. This is the president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear this caller before a quick news break. Hello? Hello? All right, waiting for you to share your thoughts, and your network isn't cooperating. So let's move on to another. Hello? Afternoon?
Yeah, good afternoon, Excellency Kimberly. Good afternoon, our guest. Mine will be on Refinery. As our guests have rightly pointed out, the derivative, I tend to remember the derivative of crude oil, which include the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, the petroleum, the petrochemicals, alkanes, the natural gas, which we have LPG and the CNGs. If we achieve our refining ability capacities, crude oil alone, you can have more than 6,000 just from crude oil, which means our industry, will not need dollar to import all those derivatives, which means by extension will have a lot of again as it used to. So honestly, the Nigerian Labour Congress should put pressure. They can say December. They should not always say this. They should do a follow-up. Oh my goodness.
We heard you, and oh my goodness, but it's all good. We'll break now for the news at the top of the Joy standing by, and Mr. Chuks pretty much with us from now till the 4:30. Stay with us. Stay with 95.1 Niger.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the whole Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.